Okay, Labor Day weekend recap. We went down to check out MAO, Mid-America Offroad. Never been down there before. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online the last couple years. I've been wanting to go down there, so we loaded up and made the trip down Friday. Loaded up, headed down early Friday morning. Their schedule was practice Friday, heats on Saturday, and mains on Sunday. This is a long weekend, so. Friday we went down and we drove pretty much in a rainstorm the whole way down there, and they got rain all morning. So they ended up canceling practice, which sucks because I went down Friday to go to practice because I've never been on the track before, so I wanted to check it out, kind of get it figured out before the race would start. But got a bunch of rain. They canceled practice on Friday, but they had a practice Saturday morning, which was a mud fest. So wasn't really able to figure out the race line and all that. So we went out and just kind of turned some laps, tried to get the track figured out and just memorize basically. It was super foggy that morning too, so visibility was real low. So I actually kind of got lost on the track a couple times, forgot where I was at. But 'cause it's big. There's a lot of uphills and downhills, and it was cool though. It was very cool. So went through practice. Mud packed this thing. It got super muddy. It was crazy. But heats rolled around Saturday. Weather got better. Sun came out, burned off all the fog, and actually the track was really good. It was almost perfect. So a lot of guys I talked to down there, they said it's the best it's ever been, ever. So that was cool. Heat race. I basically kind of used the heat as a second practice, but kind of figured out my race lines and kind of got my marks and everything. So we ended up qualifying 10th for the main in the heat. So the main rolled around Sunday, and we qualified 10th, so we're second row back on the main off the gate. They do a land rush start there, so instead of like a rolling start, they do land rush. So basically it's like a gate drop, like motocross style, without the gate. So it's dead stop, take off, and it's a big uphill into a left-hander, and it gets pretty gnarly. So that was cool. That was something different. It was pretty gnarly. But yeah, I ended up after they dropped the green flag, took off, made it up the hill and around the left-hander, coming back down. I think I was sitting third by like the second or third corner. So passed a lot of guys on the outside, so which was good, kind of stayed away from the carnage. Held third pretty much the whole race. I think second lap we started leaking coolant. Radiator got a hole in it. I was kind of running a busted radiator. I thought it was good. It wasn't leaking, but popped a leak in the main. So our radios quit working, so I lost communication with my pit, so they couldn't really tell me what was going on. So after watching the video footage, by the second lap, it was already kind of starting to smoke and coolant was leaking out of it. So halfway through the last lap, it let loose, threw a rod through the block, trashed the motor. I mean, it grenaded everything. So ended our weekend. In mid-race, I looked down, checked my temp just to make sure I wasn't running hot. It said 197, but I think what happened was by the time I looked down, all the coolant had leaked out of the system, and it was basically reading ambient temperature. So I thought I was good, kept pushing it, and it let loose. So yeah, I packed up, headed home. But I mean, all in all, the weekend, it was a fun weekend. Never been down there before. That place is awesome. I mean, if you're not a racer, they got trails, they got pool, lazy river, they got all. I think that they were throwing a mud fest, or I think they call it the Mud Nasty. They had a big mud bog that weekend, so it was pretty cool. They put on a pretty good weekend, so it was fun time. So loaded up, headed home, got it all tore apart, kind of assessed the damage, and it needs a whole new motor. So got a hold of the guys down at Hess Motorsports down in Texas. He happened to have a fresh rebuild sitting in his shop, so that worked out. Got it coming up. Should be here hopefully next week. So we'll get this thing buttoned back up and get her back going. So it's a bummer. we're gonna miss the last round of Adrian, so that's no good. But hopefully, you're gonna get back together, kind of get it broke in before Lucas Oil, the last round of Lucas Oil down at Wheatland, Missouri. So we're sitting pretty good points there. So hopefully, you finish strong and finish the year off in a decent spot. So we'll get this thing buttoned up and what are you doing, Roden? Get her up and going and finish the year off. So stay tuned. All right, so we'll show you a little bit of the carnage here. I got the motor out and tore it all apart just kind of see what all happened. But it's pretty, all of it's junk at this point. I think the head's probably good. It's probably warped, but probably be able to reuse the head, so we'll keep that for a spare, I guess. But as you can see, there's your piston and rod. Melted the piston, trashed the rod. I mean, that's what it's supposed to look like. So there's that, and then that's what went through the block. This is a big hole here. This sits like that. So of course it got into both cases, so I can't reuse both cases. Put a nice window there. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much trashed everything. Can't reuse. Burnt the crank up pretty good. I mean, she got toasty. It got so hot that the coil packs that sit down on the spark plugs melted to the head. I had to pry them out, so. It got hot. What? You ready to go home? Oh no, me too, I'm hungry. So yeah, that's our mascot, Rodent. You saw him in the clip before that. So yeah, that's the motor. So we're gonna go ahead and just throw that in the boat for the boat anchor and throw the new one in and be good to go.